Thank you all for coming. My name is Bill Young. For those that don't know me, I'm the Vice President of the Board of Trustees of Lancaster Library. Someone might have to leave now. We're pleased to provide this opportunity for our local residents in Franklin Square to hear from our two candidates running for fire commissioner this year. We actually did this 2 years ago, and we'll be doing it every year. If we think of it, we get the right nudge from somebody, we'll be happy to do it. We really think it's a service to our people in the community to know it's before the election. We have two candidates this year, Joe Torregrossa, the incumbent, and Andrew Monteleone. The position of fire commissioner is a volunteer position with no pay, just like a library trustee. The fact that both these men want to give up their time away from their families to help our community is commendable. So the procedure for tonight is we're going to give each candidate 15 minutes. They may not need it, but I have a timer. We'll give them 15 minutes if they want it. I'll give them a little reminder when they're 1 minute away. That's what we do for the political candidates who come in with love to talk, you know them. And then we'll collect the cards that are in the audience. Hopefully you have a card. If you didn't pick one up, there's some on the back table. I'll come around and collect them as we get down to the second candidate. And then we'll use those to get questions from the candidates. You can write on the card who you want to ask the question of, back there, or both candidates, and we'll ask them both questions. And we'll do that for as long as we take to get to the questions. I don't really think we'll get more beyond 8 o'clock, but maybe I'll be surprised. We do have the room reserved to 9 o'clock, but I know a lot of people in the room have a meeting to go to tonight, so we'll see how it goes. And my last point is, remember the vote is December 11th, a Tuesday. It's from 1 o'clock to 9 p.m. at the firehouse. So after you hear these candidates, you can make your decision. Make sure you also remember the vote. I'm always disappointed when I see the number of people that actually take the time to go out to vote. So we'll start off with Joe. We've got 15 minutes if you need.
Hi, everyone. First, I'd like to thank the Board of Trustees for allowing us to speak tonight. I'd like to thank the commissioners, chiefs, officer members who come tonight supporting me, family, friends. First, I'd like to tell you about myself. I'm a lifelong member of Franklin Square. I'm also a 32-year member of the fire department. I come from a long history, family history with the fire department. I'm actually, my son's talking about running for the fire, not running, but joining the fire department. And if he did, we'd be able to say his father, grandfather, great-grandfather, uncles, cousins, all belonged to the fire department, dated back into the early 1900s. So, actually, when I was born, I was driven by a neighbor who was chief at the time. 1960, and my father was captain. It's in the answer 2 minutes, so actually you could say I was born into the fire department. Okay, so next is, like I said, I'm a 32-year member of the department. This will be my, if I get elected, it'll be my 4th term as commissioner. I held the ranks of captain, lieutenant. When I first ran for office in 2004, a year after I got elected, Chief Malloy and Chief Salzman were elected, and the first thing Chief Salzman came up to me and said, "What do you want to get done first?" It made me feel great because he knew I was being held up on a couple ideas I'd like to get passed. One of the first things we did was buy leather boots for the men and the survivor lights. It's 2 big things for a firefighter that they were buying on their own that we purchased for them. And we put an exhaust system that was being held up. The exhaust system goes on the trucks, and so the fumes don't get in the guys in the truck room. So that was another big purchase. Did a lot of great accomplishments and purchases over the year that I helped with the other commissioners. We bought washer and dry for the men, so they get back from working fire or training, their gear gets washed. That was another big purchase. These accomplishments I feel proud of. I have a desire, a heart every day I bring to the fire department. If you another thing I should bring up for the taxpayers. Two things I wanted when I first got elected. I wanted to take care of the men and take care of the taxpayer. Taxpayer, we haven't raised taxes in 10 years. So actually, if we did, your fire taxes would be double by now. Another tax savings for the taxpayer was we changed insurance companies for liability and insurance. We saved over $80,000 per year for the last 10 years. That's close to $1 million. It's a lot of savings for the taxpayers. And actually, we increased our coverage, which is a pretty good thing to do. If you don't want to take my word for what I've done or helped accomplish with the other commissioners for the past 10, 15 years, just ask the chiefs, the members, or even if you don't want to take their word for it, ask the ex-chiefs that I worked with for the past 10, 15 years. You know, I do a decent job, otherwise they would run somebody from the department against me. That's how it goes there. So I appreciate your help, look for your support, and thank you for your time.
Andrew?
5 minutes up?
Can I steal Joe's minute?
Sure.
Good evening, everybody. I too would like to thank everyone for coming out tonight, for the library for hosting this event and inviting me. I greatly appreciate it. I also want to say thank to Joe Torregrossa for his years of service. I want to start out first by just talking about something a little off the cuff to begin it off, because as I started this campaign, one of the first things I had said, and though I'm apologizing to Joe, it's not something that I endorsed that happened today. It's a shame that it happened to Joe today with a post that was out of line to be posted. Certainly wasn't encouraged or endorsed by me. I know Joe wouldn't do it as well, but as you guys all know, these days, you could easily create a post, a hack, and get into a system. Because I said from the beginning, I was not going to say or be involved with a derogatory, with mudslinging. I got nothing against Commissioner Torregrossa. Nothing at all. It's a shame that the positions are 5 of us, 5 commissioners, and I'm sure if there were 6 commissioners, again, somebody would always have to be replaced if somebody ran. But my point to start off is that, again, I don't know if you saw it, Joe, certainly wasn't endorsed by me.
I'm trying not to read it.
No, I know, but I just want to come out and say that. Myself, real quickly, I'm here in the community for about 30 years now. My wife is born and raised here, 54, I'm married here. I have 3 children that have gone through the same school system and district my wife did with Washington and Cary. Myself, I'm the input. I came from City Line. I don't know if people know what City Line is or where is City Line. City Line is the border of East New York, Ozone Park, and that's where I'm from City Line. Since being involved over here, as I was in City Line, I've always got involved in the community. It was something my dad was very involved in through the nights, and I sort of followed suit. And I just got involved. So about 12 years back in the old neighborhood, and about 30 years here in this neighborhood, I've been involved in the community in various organizations. And the organizations, like I said, I've held various positions. And working with people, I enjoy most. And working with those organizations as well, I feel it's like something I wish everybody would get involved in the community. Maybe not 8 organizations, at least 1 to give back to the community. So with all that being said, I want to take my community experience here because this is where I'm running for Fire Commission. And I want to take that experience with the community that I feel has been very positive in working with a lot of people and try to bring those relationships, those experience down into that position. I was very upset when I heard a very short time ago about that here in the community. I was at a meeting where that our firefighters were not being served or being welcomed in the community at stores. And I think that's disgusting. No ifs, ands, or buts. There's no excuse. And that struck me. and also gave me more of a motivation about getting involved and saying something has to give on something like that. That shouldn't be. So when I use the term that I'm supporting or in support of our fire chiefs, our volunteers, I feel right away out of the box that's something I would jump on in 2 seconds to find out why is that? Why is that happening or being said? I don't know if it's been corrected. I don't know if, what happened with all that, but that's something right out of the box I would jump into to show my support for the volunteers that we have in this community. Years ago, I wanted to join. I'm not going to stand here and play my violin for those who know me about my illnesses or my illness, but the point I'm trying to make is I'm getting involved now because I can. I'm too old to join, to be a firefighter, but I felt I can bring, again, my service, my knowledge that I have from the community to this position. It's an administrative position. I've been involved, and I feel that's what a lot of the positions I've held before. I also want to bring my business background. I've been involved for over 40 years in finance, marketing, operations, procurement, and senior procurement and purchasing manager, credit and collections. I was a MMO. You say, what's an MMO? It's a marketing manager of operations, where I was in charge of 3 states, about 250 part-time employees. What's significant about that? Well, I'll tell you what's significant about that. It dealt with a lot of HR issues. I know the commissioners have to deal with HR issues. I dealt with that with 27 full-time employees, 250 part-time employees, from hiring, firing, training, motivating, as well as in a lot of other positions I held. So I want to take that business background and bring it also to that position. There's 5 commissioners, and I feel I want to take what I can offer, my assets, my background, share that with the other commissioners, and learn from them, whatever they're bringing to the table, and work together. Some of the things that I have seen, because I've come to commissioners' meetings for 14 months, I'm no expert. I don't know everything. I'm just a resident that has come for the last 14 months, try to sit there, listen, learn, make my own opinion, speak to present, past members of your department. I've also spoke to friends that I have, FD&Y, in other towns where they are chiefs, commissioners, and volunteers, to sort of learn. Do I know everything? Absolutely not. I've been very honest with everybody, and everybody here in this room knows. 0 background as far as being a fireman. I've never said I had that background. But I know, if elected, there is mandatory training I have to go to. Big deal. Not only would I try to go to that, and not try to go to that because it's mandated, I would do my best to go above and beyond. To take, to see, to listen, whatever other training that I can do. Whatever else I can learn to bring the position. I know this is not a position to fool with. You do have people's lives on the line. And I realize that. And I wouldn't be running if I felt that I couldn't do a good job, and also having that in the back of my mind, there's people's lives on the line. People talk about he's going to get in, and he's going to look right away to be the advocate of saving money and not spending money. That's a lie. I want the department to have the best equipment, the right equipment, because when that engine pulls up in front of my house, I want to know, and I bet you want to know, that they can come in and those women and men can save our lives with the right thing. I'm not putting water guns, and you heard me say this already, and plastic ladders in the hands. Do I know everything? I don't. There's a lot of learning to do. There's absolutely a lot of learning to do. And I hope, like I said, being professionals here and working with another group of professionals, talking about the other commissioners, that I will learn, we will share, work as a team, and then support the chiefs who are fighting the fires with the volunteers. So I just want to sum it up by saying, I know I'm the long shot. but I'm looking to give 110% to myself to this position and 100% to the members of our fire department, our fire district. I'm looking to work with everybody. I'm no savior. I don't have the one greatest idea. I have about 6 principles. I have like 6 focuses that I would like to speak with the commissioners about if I get in, to see if we can implement some changes. And I would say one of the biggest problems that I'll be honest with you to say is the communication. When we're not communicating back to the community right away thinks something's up. And that's not true. But because we don't, people assume things. And right away you hear the accusations about this, and money being misappropriated, and this and this and this. I'm not a do a minimum type of guy. I believe doing the maximum. I know by law, the district has to communicate this way, put the notices here, but I want to see about going above and beyond that. I know, and I'm not trying to be sarcastic when I say, when that engine pulls up in front of my house, they don't do the minimum. They just don't take out the hoses and say, okay, that's the minimum. They do the whole entire job to make sure that house is out, people are safe, they're safe. That's what I want to do with the district. And I'm not being disrespectful to the chiefs, to the commissioners, by saying you're not doing your job. They're doing their job, they're following their law. But I think, again, my personal opinion, being somebody from the community and hear what I've heard from community people and community organizations, it's about going and doing maybe the maximum. So I thank you for all coming down here tonight. As I try to ask questions, I'm not a seated commissioner like Joe. There's a lot for me to learn. I've explained that. I don't know all the techniques that the men use and the women use to put out the fires. I'll try to answer your questions as best as I can. And if I don't have those answers tonight, I would be more than happy to try to get them, either when I'm sitting as a commissioner, hopefully, or tomorrow, as I'll be more than happy to research that and look up that information. Because like I said, learning, educating myself is a priority.
Wait.
So, Bill, I thank you very much. Again, I thank Joe, and I wish everybody
I'll come around and collect cards if anybody has questions. This card's in the back, by the way.
Go first. Make sure I go first.
Why wouldn't they just, why wouldn't they just store?
Thank you.
You wanna let him start?
So we'll try to make this kind of balanced. Let's see what we got here. So, Andrew, you said you would want to restore the respect of the department and community. How would you do that if the community respects our services?
If the community respects our services,
Yes.
don't respect.
If the community respects our services.
Well, I was trying to explain before about the community and respect. I have heard from even current commissioners, as well as current members, as well as speaking to former members about that. And like I said to you, I think that's disgusting. I happen to be involved in a lot of community organizations, and I feel it locally, and I feel like those community organizations we need to tap into. We need to get a hold of them. As well as I've been involved with a lot of the local merchants, because like I said, a lot of these, unfortunately, organizations I belong to, we're always collecting money. The Dad's Club, the Knights of Columbus, we're always knocking on the door. I would first start like we're doing tonight, sitting down and having to sit down and find out what is the issues, and find out what's going on, and speaking. Why won't you serve someone who's volunteering their time? What seems to be the problem? That's something I would do how I said I would do it out of the box of sitting down and discussing that and finding out. And speaking to people, as well as speaking to people in the department, no repercussions, being honest and open and speaking, having them allowed to speak and tell us how they feel, what seems to be the problem. I'm not saying that's where it's starting from, but I'm saying as well as going to that store, why won't you serve? I have no problem with talking to anybody, speaking to anybody. I'm no big tough guy. My wife used to say, when I was the Knights of Columbus, she used to call me up like this, don't give Andrew a microphone. I'll say hello to anybody, I'll talk to anybody, I'll speak with anybody, I'll approach anybody. So I would start by approaching, maybe have like a community meeting to try to find out what seems to be your issues.
Thank you. Question to Joe. What are your ideas on recruitment?
It's already implemented. We have an excellent Explorer program, started quite a few years back. Actually, it's one of the most respected Explorer programs in the county. There's a couple of big other departments that have an excellent program, but ours is thought as one of the best, and that's a lot of them from there go into become a 12-year volunteer fireman. So that's, and they go to schools now, they do a lot of things, they go around to different functions, different street fairs, and so they're already doing a great job, actually, of recruiting.
All right, here's a question for both candidates.
In purchasing, I've been a director of contracts pricing and order processing. I've done that for close to about 22 years of negotiating contracts, trying to purchase in strength. I would bring that to the table, I feel. I'm not saying that our fire commissioners right now are not, their strength is not that, but like I said, that would be what I would bring to the table, I feel, is the first out of all my career would bring back purchasing and negotiation skills that I have.
And Joe, what do you feel is the most important strength you bring to the job?
It's like my firefighter background. It's my everyday passion and love for the department. I'm actually, I'm open and chiefs know that we have worked with some great things. Have an idea. Nothing against any past commissioners or president. The present ones are great. But then, they can talk to me and tweak it, or give me an idea, and I'll listen, and I'll go with it. I'm open, and that's it.
Why are you standing up? Next question is, for both of you, if you can start off, what do you feel needs to be addressed as the number one issue as a commissioner for the coming years in Rankin Square? If you had to pick one issue, what's the most important?
Right now, we're working, the chiefs are doing a great job with the EMS. We got a lull, I used to work 3 jobs. So, times have changed. So, the hardship on the members making percentages big. We adjusted the percentages, trying to make it better for them to stay aboard. But EMS, they're doing a great job. They got a new program, and it really, I believe they got like 5 to 9 new EMS guys coming in. And that's the biggest, hopefully, it looks really good, the EMS program.
Well, I can personally attest to the EMS service in Franklin Square, because personally I had Franklin Square ambulance taken to the hospital last year, and they were top notch. Andrew, what's your number one goal?
Oh, Joe, I'll back Joe to the fact that he just spoke about, I guess, retention. I do hear how hard it is to have some of these younger, I don't want to say kids because it's not correct, younger gentlemen who are trying to start out families, who either in the Explorer program, now going to college, trying to keep them involved, making their percentage. Joe talked about how they've been created already. I don't know if there's other avenues to look. That's almost something that, like I said, is one of the things I would think about. The other thing, again, is you know where prices are going. I guess, making sure that our budget is staying within our budget, trying to look at some cost savings. And those savings, maybe we can move those funds around and make sure we're getting some other equipment and better equipment that we need and and try to like hold the line on some of our spending, and when we have to spend, spend wisely.
Okay. Now, while you're up, there's a question just for you. You mentioned that, you asked about renovation and purchasing of equipment. If you're in the position of commissioner, do you really expect to do this? I think what they're implying is, as a commissioner, will you be involved in the nitty-gritty of purchasing of equipment?
Well, again, I'm not sitting in the position to actually know how it's actually handled by the commissioners. I'm gonna answer it as a purchasing manager. My job as purchasing manager is to dig into that purchase or what we're talking about purchasing and look into it and do the homework on what we're looking to buy and stuff. So truthfully, I would say, unless I'm wrong, and I don't know, like I said, so I'm not a sitting commissioner, I do expect myself to do that homework and look into it and learn about what we're looking to purchase.
Thank you. All right, last question. We'll let both of you do this as kind of a wrap-up.
We want to stay for another half hour.
You do, but some people here don't.
Not me.
If you had to look into the future, getting your time machine to John DeLorean and go forward 10 years, what do you think would be looking different in the Franklin Square Munson Fire Department 10 years in the future? If you are elected commissioner and you have a chance to really make some changes, what do you think those changes would look like 10 years from now into the future that we have right now? Yeah, why not?
You want Joe? I apologize, Spike. Well, I'll push a button that's something that's current. I mean, I don't believe spending, good money after bad money. And maybe people will fall off their chairs when I'm about to say what I'm going to say, because I know the difficulty that the district is having about building this other building they want. Maybe a whole new entire, and again, I know I'm going to have people hit the floor when I say, maybe a whole new entire firehouse. We're building on, we're putting Band-Aids, at least due diligence to look into it, see something like that. That would be wonderful to have a building that accommodates all our needs. And though it costs money, something like that. Well, I'm looking into it.
I guess 10 years from now, I just hope the EMS program is running great, and the membership is a lot more than what it is now, and we're coming up with, like I said, a percentage program to keep the guys aboard and keep the young guys in town. Just to mention about the buildings, though, we did look into the second floor, the existing building, brand new building. So, like I said, we kept the line on taxes. We hate to hit the public. I believe the department went out to the public once before about it and was knocked down by the public. I don't blame them. I mean, taxes is number one in the county, so maybe the country, but it's the number one issue, I'm saying. So we're trying to, hold the line. I know eventually you might not have to. I know it's against our accountant's advice, or auditor, but,
All right. Well, I want to thank both these gentlemen for coming. And I think we learned a lot about what their positions are. And remember to win the vote. And let's give them a round of applause. Thank you, Andrew. Appreciate it.
I did.